Okay, just very, very quickly, I wanted to answer a few of the questions that you guys have had about Salesforce and kind of give you a much larger view of what Salesforce is and what it means to our organization and why it's so important to our organization. First of all, what is a CRM? A Salesforce is a CRM, which means basically it's a management system for the way we interact with our customers within sales, marketing, customer service, technical support, and in our case, project management also. The most important thing to remember about it is that this is the way we're moving. Uh, and you can choose to embrace it or you can choose to fight it, but it's either going to be your best friend or your worst enemy. It's an incredible resource, and we're trying to make your job much easier and much more efficient by using it. However, taking the time to learn it and taking the time to embrace it is the most important part of the process. And it is your choice completely whether you want to embrace it or whether you want to fight it. Okay, the first issue that I've had come up with is that you have accounts in the system that are assigned to you that you've never seen before, or you don't consider them your accounts. The very simple explanation for this is over the last 7 years or so, we've compiled a database of accounts or people we've done business with, and all of those people have locations, and all those people have done business with us in the past. Therefore, when we imported all those accounts into Salesforce, uh, we have a list of accounts that you may or may not have ever seen before. Now, if those accounts, if you don't feel comfortable with those accounts, or you just flat out don't want some of those extraneous accounts, feel free to reassign those accounts or transfer those accounts using the steps that I showed in the transferring accounts video over to myself or to Jim, and we will figure out what to do with some of those accounts. The second question that I've been getting a lot is some of my accounts are missing. Now this goes down to one of the core issues with how Salesforce works and what Salesforce is. Salesforce is uh, basically a sales management platform that goes from leads to accounts to opportunities and kind of manages that process. If you see some accounts that you have that are missing that you think should be there, there are two primary reasons that they're not there. The first reason would be if we have developed that customer over the past several months and our data in Salesforce isn't up to date with the data that we have in eAutomate. That's very unlikely in most situations. There are a few situations I know that's the case, but most situations that is not the case. The second scenario is this. If we have never sold something to to a customer, then we're not considering them an account. We're considering them a lead. It's your responsibility to get those leads in the system for any customer that you are currently working but have never bought anything from us in the past. And of course, your goal is to eventually convert that person into a customer. What is a lead? A sales lead is the identification of a person or entity that has the interest and authority to purchase a product or service. This step represents the first stage of the sales process. The identification of the sales lead is referred to as lead generation, a process conducted by either the marketing or sales organization. Now, a lead, and there's been a lot of questions on this, a lead is somebody that we have not yet done business with, but we have had some sort of communication or some sort of interest from them. And just to give you a quick overview of how this works, if you'll notice all the way over on the left, I've got direct contact, word of mouth, introductions, cold calls, etc. And these are all on the top and bottom of that lead square are ways that we might get leads into the system. That also includes the leads that you enter into the system. But those are leads, and then the next step over would be the activities, lead management, and tasks, which is basically that process that we go through trying to convert that lead into an account. The arrow in the middle is either a decision or a trigger that takes that lead from someone we haven't done business with to an account, uh, which means I either bought something or we had the opportunity to propose something. Now, this is a very important part, and I'm hoping this will explain a little bit better about why some of the folks that you might consider accounts are not in the system. And they're not in the system because they're still considered leads because we've never done business with them. This lead process, it's a very simple process. Um, and this is a 3-slide chart. I won't go into detail on it, but basically it goes from lead capture that you see here to this lead management, which would be checking for duplicates, which is done automatically, working leads, calling, visiting, emailing, establishing contact, qualifying the lead, and then eventually creating an opportunity from that lead here on the next page, which an opportunity is any opportunity we have to make money from a customer, whether that be a proposal or just getting pricing or just whatever. But just going all the way through that process, and then here at the end of this third page, if we win the opportunity, if we get the job, then they become an account and they go into the cycle for account. Now there's 3 primary goals for leads. The first goal is to be generated. To generate leads can be generated by knocking doors, cold calls, introductions, networking, etc. So the first goal is to enter leads as you meet people, enter their information into the system to start that process of following up with that lead. Goal number 2, manage leads. Have a consistent follow-up procedure in place to keep our name in front of potential customers. And goal number 3, convert leads. Eventually, we want to turn leads into customers and create opportunities based on those leads. What is an account? Accounts are your organization's customers, competitors, and partners. Each account stores information such as name, address, phone numbers. For each account, you can store related information such as opportunities, activities, cases, partners, contracts, and notes. This is very important because as you work these accounts and as you manage these accounts, all of the relevant information from the service department, from installation, from everywhere else within the company will be stored within this account so that you have access to most of that data at any given time. It's a great tool to give you information that you might not have had before. I'll just walk you through just very quickly the process for Salesforce. Now this first page, there's a lot about generating leads, and in this situation it's using web marketing, which we're not using very much of. But you'll see up here, step 4, we have a lead. The next goal is to convert leads to customers. Then the goal following that, number 6, will be manage customer relationships. This second page is really your sweet spot as a sales team to contact the customer, stay in touch with the customer, gather information on the customer, and be able to follow up intelligently based on the information that you have. And then finally, the service and support side of things. This is kind of after your step, but it still heavily affects your relationship with your customers, how their service is followed up on. Now we've got 3 primary goals for accounts also. The first goal being to manage accounts. We manage accounts by staying in touch, regular updates, and entering contacts that may be beneficial to you. Goal number 2 is to create opportunities, enter opportunities for your accounts. Anything that is sold from this point forward should go through the opportunity process. And of course, goal number 3, to close opportunities. Ultimately, what we all want to do is to close a deal. So closing opportunities is to manage the opportunity and win it in order to change the status to closed won. Okay, that's Salesforce in a nutshell. I hope that I've given you a little bit more information about how it works organization-wide and how it might be a benefit to you. And I've also hoped I've cleared up some things about why your accounts may be missing and why you may have accounts that are not yours in the system. If you have any other pressing questions that you think you have individually or you think that would be good for the entire sales team to hear, please email me or call me, and I'll try to get those addressed as soon as possible. Thank you so much for your time.